Hi everybody, it's Samantha Paparin from Nefesh Go Beyond North is here with Rita Ackerts. We are very privileged to have her. She's an amazing private chef. She also makes beautiful jewelry, but we're here today to talk about her private chefing. Just to let you know how the video is going to go, she's going to talk about ways to save time and innovative ideas in the kitchen that you can utilize this Passover. And if you want her recipes, you can email. On the top of the post is her email address. And then we're going to turn off the camera, and then she'll do a cooking demo here, which we're going to record. Maybe you can watch it later if you want. We'll post it somewhere else. But in any case, I'm going to turn the floor over to Rita.
Thank you, Sam. Hi. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming out this evening. The rain finally stopped, and everybody was able to come out. And I want to thank Sam and the whole Nefesh team for giving me this opportunity this evening to share what I know. So I made Aliyah with my family about 8 years ago to Ma'alot, and I've been very fortunate enough to really share and teach in Ma'alot and in Nahariya the recipes that I love to make that I've developed over the years. And I get to share them, and it's a great experience for me, and hopefully I'll be able to impart some creativity and some ideas that you can use on Pesach. So this evening I'm here to offer tips and menu ideas, and like I said, to spark your creativity. Everything I have here, truthfully, I did not really buy that many ingredients. It looks like that I bought a ton of stuff, but I didn't. What I did is I utilized a lot of the ingredients that in different ways, and so you have different flavor profiles that you can use with all the fresh ingredients here, and you switch them around with herbs, fresh vegetables. I don't know about you, but way back when my Pesach meals were heavy and complicated, and I felt sick by the end of Chag, and so did my family. Not that the food wasn't good, it was good, right? But we were just sick of eating crazy meals. And of course, in the US or Canada, wherever, it's la'aretz, 2 meals in the beginning, 2 meals in the end, and well, you know, I don't have to tell you. Right here, it's 1 in the beginning, 1 in the end, well, 2 meals really, just dinner and lunch. Seder meals. But you don't have to use complicated ingredients or recipes to really make a presentation, a really nice presentation. So I began to shift my focus several years ago from these overcomplicated menus and recipes, and I think the turning point for me was when our friend said, you know, what's with Pesach? You don't have to do all this crazy cooking. You get a piece of chicken, you bake a potato, you have a salad, and you're done. Well, okay, that didn't really agree with me so much, but I said, you know, he's right. Why spend all this time in the kitchen? I'm not enjoying, you know, the Chag. I'm not enjoying Chol HaMoed. I'm constantly making. So I shifted my focus to using more salads, roasted vegetables. We do eat kugels, but you know, you don't have to make such heavy kugels, and you don't have to use all the matzah and all of this. And especially, there's a lot of people who are either gluten-free or they don't eat gavrachs, they don't eat the wet matzah. So I developed recipes here that you're not going to miss, you know, the bread, you're not going to miss crackers or anything like that. So we're fortunate enough, really, in Israel, we have such a bounty of fresh vegetables and fruits. And so therefore, you know, we get to make all of these beautiful things. And, you know, I was thinking, what is fresh, easy, and digestible? that's where I'm coming from with what I put out tonight. And all of this will complement whatever meat dish, chicken, fish, whatever. If you're vegetarian, this is great. Like this here is a potato crusted quiche, and if you wanted to actually make that halavi, you can add some feta cheese or whatever to it. So you really can have make this either way for a basri or halavi meal. So by keeping your ingredients fresh and simple, you'll see just how many things you can really make. So our focus today is on salads and roasted vegetables and using a lot of fresh herbs to flavor our dishes because, you know, there's salt, pepper, garlic powder, and paprika, maybe, you know. Some people don't even use all of those things. They use very limited amounts of packaged goods. So I find that the herbs really elevate the flavor. They give it a nice kick, you know, a nice punch of flavor, color. And I also like using fresh, like lemon juice, orange juice, squeeze them fresh, and you know, you have a really nice dressing for salads and all the things that you see here. So the food, I'd like to explain what I made today, and I'll tell you a little bit about each thing. Sorry, I'm going to move over here. So right here, I have a potato crusted quiche. This is completely gluten-free. And what I did was I first thinly sliced the potatoes with a mandolin. And that, if you have one of those, I would say get one for Pesach because it really makes a lot of your slicing very easy. 1, 2, 3. In fact, my husband and I fight over who's going to use it. So you do that, and you line a foil pan with these potatoes that I've tossed with olive oil and some spices, salt, pepper, paprika. And then I also shredded and diced some vegetables, and you have the recipes there, but I diced and shredded vegetables, sauteed them, and then I just poured egg over this. So after this bakes in the oven, the potato crust, you place your shredded and diced vegetables that have been sauteed, you pour the egg over everything, you place the tomato halves on top, and you bake it. It comes together seriously very easily. And I will suggest also to make your life a lot easier, food processor. If you have one for Pesach, I'm getting a new one. The one I have here is old and loud and miserable, but you know, Esther, it's like you have to shake it to get it to move. But anyway, I am investing in one for Pesach because it's just going to make your life a lot easier and quick. Yes.
Is the mandolin similar to what you would be making like those carrot slices with?
Actually, I used a peeler.
So is a peeler and a mandolin similar?
Mandolin is, I meant to bring it, but it's so sharp that I was a little afraid to bring. It's very sharp. You have to be careful with it, but they also have a guard you can stick the vegetable on, and you slice it like this. It's about this long.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And you can also, they have attachments, you can make crinkle cut, you know, it's actually really cool to have one. And I don't have one for Pesach, and I'm going to get one also because I got over my fear of using one. They're very sharp, you do have to be careful, but they really make your job, they cut the work in half. And honestly, you couldn't get the uniform slices that you would have, you know, with the mandolin. If you're doing it by hand, it takes a long time. Also, kids love to peel and chop. So I would say if you have kids, you know, it can be family time, and you can get them to help you also. It makes really, most of the work is really the preparation. Once you have all the prep done, it really does come together very easily. And what I do is like I'll cook during the day, and then maybe, you know, later on I'll prep the vegetables for the next day. Keep them in the containers, you know, these, I have the kuso, you know, those containers over there. And you put them in the refrigerator and you're ready to go for the next day. And that really cuts your work in half. Okay, so now we have some oven roasted vegetables, which I'm addicted to. I love roasted vegetables, and it is the simplest thing you could do. I peel the sweet potatoes, and the beets get peeled, and they are just tossed with some olive oil, salt and pepper. Not for the beets, for the sweet potato and the fennel, I like to toss them with a little paprika also for color, and it caramelizes really nicely. So, but there's so many vegetables you could roast. Kohlrabi is one that that is really, really nice, and you can also roast combinations of vegetables. You can dice them, slice them, however you want to do it. But you can put them on top of salads, eat them on the side. We're going to make an herb dressing to go with this and the salad. You can just eat them like this. It's so simple, and that little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper just really brings out the sweetness of the vegetables, and it's like candy. It's really, you don't need anything else. I also here have some balsamic roasted tomatoes with garlic. And these tomatoes can go, on your salad. They can be used once they're made like this. You can put them with fish and roast your fish, your chicken. It really adds a lot of flavor. You could just eat them like this, along with the other roasted vegetables. Yes, the beets. Do you
use them like raw, like the raw vegetable, or the ones that are like in the packaging?
No, I use the raw. Yeah,
okay.
I do. I find them a little soft.
If I could do that, if I could just.
I don't know. You know what? Other people have used them, and I don't know. I feel like they're already pre-cooked, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. I think they are.
The raw ones,
they're a little soft. You probably could do it, and I would just roast them not so long, and you want them to get those like a little bit of browned edges, a little caramely edge there. But you could try it and see. Yeah.
Okay, so raw's
Yes.
better.
So I'm kind of new to kohlrabi. So do you peel it and then slice it?
That is a really good question. And I like to take all the outer part off of it, and then I slice it up, and you could dice it. So it's something you can use, in soups. People use it in soups. I was new to me roasting, and I really liked it. So I thought this is something that I wanted to mention. People don't think about roasting kohlrabi. Yeah, but I like to take all the outer part off.
And then just dice it?
Or slice, however you want to do it. That's the great thing about, these vegetables. You can, any texture you want, just do it. And it's like you can use it in so many ways. Like I said, I love roasted vegetables on salad. So I already have some of the roasted vegetables. I did the sweet potato and beets on mixed greens. And later on, we're going to caramelize some walnuts, and we are going to do that, and then we're going to make a cucumber herb dressing. It's a little bit creamy, and so we're going to have that, and you can also, like I said, use it for the roasted vegetables. And then let's see. This is one of my favorite things. These little, it's a triple layered dip cup, I call it. It is roasted yellow pepper, baba ganoush, homemade baba ganoush, and roasted red pepper. And I made these for Shabbat, and the kids thought it was really novel. But the younger kids, they didn't quite understand what they were eating. It has a little bit of a smoky flavor, and it's great. You can dip, if you eat, like I said, you dip your matzah or whatever. These are great. My family's always looking for, especially at lunch, they love lots of salads. And they love to put, smear it all over their matzah and all of that. So, this is actually really something different, and it's great, and it makes a really nice. It makes a great presentation on your table. It's so simple to do. You're roasting peppers, and I'll give you a tip about roasting peppers. You may already know it, but roasting peppers, once you broil them and char the skin, throw them in a paper bag or Ziploc bag right away and seal it. It steams off the skin. It steams the skin, and peeling is a breeze. It's really easy. And then once you do that, you throw the peppers and garlic and whatever. For the red, I use balsamic vinegar, drizzle of olive oil, a clove of garlic, and I use basil on the red pepper puree, and you just put it in your food processor, and you've got yourself a nice dip.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Does an immersion blender work as well if you don't want to get a food processor?
You might have to really. I don't think it would work. Would it? Does it? But did you chop it up? I've never done it. I mean, I've done it with soups, but for pepper.
Okay.
It's more like a blender than a food processor.
I don't know if mine was. I think mine. That's not so great.
Container just has to be not very big, but just closer to
container. See, mine doesn't have the container. Okay, I just put it in soups and all that. Oh, good to know. Thank you. And then also the baba ganoush is fire roasted. You can also roast it in the oven until the skin is charred, and then you just open it up and scoop it out. And again, you throw that in your food processor. And so you're going to hear me say food processor a lot. What's that?
You're not selling one here.
No, but that's what's going to make your life easier, and especially on Pesach when you're preparing so many meals, and it's not just for Seder and lunch. And then you have Shabbat, and well, this year it ends up that Shabbat and the last days are together. But still, your family wants to eat during the week as well. So, although I like to have leftovers and say here. Okay.
Did you actually use basil in that, or
I did.
because here it said cilantro or parsley? Did you?
And the red pepper. That's the yellow pepper for red. I tried to. I think I have basil here. Also, do I have it there? Yeah, basil, fresh basil leaves. In the yellow pepper, I used some cilantro. You can use parsley, whatever you prefer. And again, the garlic, lemon juice. I really like the lemon juice in the yellow pepper. It gave it a nice bright flavor, so it's nice to do that. Let's see. Can we come over? Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to talk about these salads right here. I'm sorry, I'm moving around a lot. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. This is going to be pineapple salsa. And you don't think about that during Pesach, right? But you know, fresh fruit salsa is fantastic with chicken or fish or whatever. It's really good. It's got lots of herbs. I use mint and cilantro and basil. And there's red onion and 2 kinds of pepper. You can do whatever you want with this. The dressing will be a honey lemon dressing. When I can get limes, which I think you and I were talking about this, Sam. That is really hard to get limes at certain times of year. I think it's in July. What I do is I juice them and I freeze them in ice cube trays and then pop them out. But I wish I had lime because that's really my preference. But lemon is good too. It's a nice bright flavor. And if you don't want to use red onion, you can use scallions. That's also another option. And I know in Pesach some people don't use scallions, they don't use leeks, but like I said, these are really, you can play with these recipes, be creative with them. And this right here is, if you remember, the deli health salad. Anybody remember health salad? My husband always loved when we would go out to eat and they would stick a bowl of this health salad in front of him, and he was really happy while we were waiting for our meal. And he just mentioned that the other day, and I said, well, you know, this is what I'm making here, and he was very happy to hear. Instead of using all the white sugar, I opted again to use honey. You can use Ceylon, you can use the white sugar, it's fine, whatever you like. But that's what makes it the deli salad. It's crunchy, it's fresh, and it keeps. You can make it 2 days ahead of time. And that's the great thing about all of this. You can make these ahead of time, and it really, you can pace yourself. You don't have to worry about doing everything at the last minute, or it's not going to be fresh. Let's see. All right, now, this actually is really mine. These are Blintz cups. These were blintzes that I made, potato starch blintzes. And then you put them in a muffin, wait a minute, a muffin tin, and you bake them in the oven for 20 minutes. And you have these, now when you make them fresh, they're a little crispier, probably by the time we eat them. You can fill these with anything. It could be sweet, it can be savory. I can't wait to make a whole bunch of things with these. Tonight we're gonna have strawberries with a little bit of mint. Put them, me personally, I also would love to add a little splash of balsamic. I'm not gonna do it tonight, but it'll just be like a little drizzle of, just to macerate the berries a little bit, just a little bit of honey or sugar. And you just put the strawberries in here. You can use any fruit. You can put your salsa in here and use it as a little garnish on your dish. If you're going to make little quiches with these, you can make a quiche. Don't bake them first. You just put them in the muffin tin, and then you would pour the quiche mixture inside and bake them in until the quiche is set inside. How about some pulled brisket or with onions? Anything really. It's a nice little. It's a garnish. It's a dessert. It's anything you want it to be. Really, you could just fill it with so many things. Yes.
So you could use like the filling that you're having the vegetable quiche right here into the little cups.
You really could. Yes.
Do little individual.
So it's a twist on the regular blintzes also, and these potato starch blintzes are very light and airy also, so they don't take long to crisp up. And even say, if you made them ahead, I did have them a little crisper. I put them on the platta actually, but you know, I see that when they sit out, they're just a little softer. I really like them. And I think that is pretty much the explanation of everything that we are going to do. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Any?
Okay.
Okay, great.
So then I am going to end the broadcast for now. Again, please email Rita if you would like these recipes yourself. And we hope you enjoyed. And now we are going to enjoy eating everything. Bye, everyone. Pesach Sameach.